So I guess I'll just share my screen then so we can get this working.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
first of all, thank you so much for supporting the Kickstarter and helping us bring the show back and everything. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to hearing about your matchup.
Oh, I'm glad I got to help out with it.
So are we. So,
All right,
but
so
yeah, I'm very interested in this one because I mean, obviously, Sailor Moon, amazing, right? But I've heard about Winx and I've seen it, and like my daughter watched one, I think, at one point. But like, I want to know, like, let's see how crazy this gets.
all right, yeah, this is gonna be a fun one, I guess.
All right.
So yeah, this is recording.
Sounds great. And just let you know, there's no right or wrong way to do this. No pressure, no stress, no need to be nervous or anything. This is your time, and we just want to hear why this matchup is exciting to you or why you think it's cool. So,
Yep, floor is yours.
but right before we get, is Liam not here? Sorry,
is this a double one?
Is this a double one?
this is the one that's on my calendar, unless I was misscheduled. But this is the calendar link I followed.
I think this is the one where you were supposed to let us in.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the
I'm a
mysterious man
mystery
behind the
person.
curtain.
Don't worry about me. You guys have a good pitch.
All right.
Totally not listening. Don't worry.
All right.
Sorry about that. Floor is yours.
All right, so here we go then. So for my match, I'll be pitching Sailor Mercury from Sailor Moon versus Tecna from Winx Club. Got some graphics. So I think by now everyone knows what Sailor Moon is. It's been on Death Battle before. It got a DBX, funnily enough, with Sailor Mercury. But for a bit of quick background on her, she was born as the daughter of a painter for her father, and her mother was a doctor. But her father left her at a young age, so being raised by just her mother, she was inspired to become a doctor. This meant naturally she did a lot of studying and going to cram school after school, which boosted her IQ to apparently being over 300 according to the manga.
Oh, all right.
But this also meant that she didn't really do well in terms of socializing with others and couldn't really get friends because most people just saw her as someone who isolated herself due to being far more intelligent than everyone else.
Loving the look here. Nailing that death battle look.
Yeah, right?
Thank you. But yeah, so this would all change one day though during a seemingly normal encounter with the protagonist of the series, Usagi Tsukino, which not only would give Ami her first friend finally, but later that night when a monster attacked the cram school she was at, would lead to her discovering her destiny of becoming a Sailor Guardian. Naturally, being a Sailor Guardian, she has her own powers as well, namely in the form of being able to manipulate water as either a liquid, a solid in the form of ice, or fog for its gas form. Also just creating dimensions for some reason, that's just randomly there.
Why not? Right?
Yeah. It's just part of the smart girl thing, which is fitting as well, because I didn't list it, but she does have a supercomputer that she carries around to analyze things. So, then there's Tecna. To quickly go over Winx Club, it is basically what if Sailor Moon was about fairies and was also made by Italians.
All right.
It's kind of just what if Sailor Moon... It's basically just Sailor Moon meets Harry Potter. So,
Okay.
Tecna has less backstory known to her. The main things known is that she was born as the princess of the planet Zenith, and she was extremely intelligent from a young age, but also mostly kept to herself, leading her to also lack in social skills and lacking in friendships until she attended the School of Magics, where she would meet the protagonist Bloom, giving her her first taste of friendship, and eventually becoming a fairy that can save the universe.
Got it. Okay, I see the parallels for sure.
Yeah. I can't even list everything she can do because Winx just decides to constantly be giving new spells to her. I think she has over 70 by now.
Oh man. All right.
But to give the quick ideas, she has various energy beams and blasts, various shields, traps through typically either cages or nets, and then miscellaneous things which can be anything from analyzing opponents to stat amps or just whatever else the writers decide is needed for the episode.
Okay.
So the core theme of it, I guess as you can tell by now, is that they're both genius magical girls who grew up studying and focusing on intellect, which caused them to struggle with socializing and friendship until meeting the protagonist, leading to them not only making new friends, but also discovering their destinies as magical girls. And then for some fun little connections, both have similar interests, with the most notable one that plays into the dynamic being their skill at chess. Both of them have ties to royalty, specifically through being princesses of their respective planets, and both were infamously voiced by British people in their terrible English dubs. Also, in one of the dubs, they do both share the same voice actress, so that's a fun little thing.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
that's fun. Okay.
So, the way I see the dynamic working is it essentially plays, well, naturally into their intellect through a few ways. One idea I like is essentially utilizing analysis of every part of the fight to constantly remain 5 steps ahead of each other. Earlier on, it would be more reactive based. One idea I tend to think of is kind of something like what Tanjiro versus Jonathan did, with Jonathan just manipulating his breathing to react to Tanjiro's blade. And then later on, focusing more on just going with plans that they've been going for in advance. Which I guess the best comparison would be Roshi versus Jiraiya's now famous "I've been on the beach this whole time" type of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Essentially, the best way to look at this is that it'd be like they're playing a 4D game of chess with each other, which I just kind of like. And then being a magical girl fight, it'd still naturally have the flashy effects of a magical girl will show. So I think combine that with the strategy, you just get a really fun, aesthetically pleasing dynamic.
Yeah, for sure.
I do have some general fight ideas, such as Tecna utilizing Electric Storm to, well, counter Sailor Mercury's use of water, since electricity beats water. Or Sailor Mercury utilizing ice powers on the water to enhance her mobility, or just freeze Tecna in place. You get Tecna's physical attacks being used to overwhelm Sailor Mercury up close, or Hyperspatial Sphere Generator being used to basically take them to an empty dimension where Tecna can't make use of the environment around her.
Mm.
And then, obviously, since it's a magical girl fight, I feel like it inevitably needs to have that split-screen transformation sequence.
Yeah, you got to do it for sure.
Yeah. And then for the finishing attacks, you can either go with Sailor Mercury baiting out an electric attack and then utilizing a water attack to basically force Tecna to electrocute herself, as like her taking advantage of something Tecna did earlier in the fight. Or Tecna takes advantage of Ami's usage of ice to essentially try and force Ami into freezing herself, leaving her open to an attack from Tecna. Basically just finishing the other off by forcing them to stumble back into a corner they can't escape from.
Gotcha.
Music-wise, I think the best way to go with this would be an upbeat, sort of magic tune to it with a bit of techno beat, since, well, Tecna's whole techno theme.
I love the track title. Brain Waves is so good.
Yeah. And then, of course, I think vocals would fit quite nicely. Some potential music tracks from their own series that I think work would either be Moon Pride from Sailor Moon Crystal, or Moon Prism Power Makeup, which is the Sailor Moon transformation theme. And then for the Winx side of things, you've got the Winx transformation thing, Emote Were the Winx, as well as just Irresistible Winx, which has that sort of magical techno theme.
Okay.
And then from this was a weird thing that I kind of threw in, but there were a few other songs from other series that kind of have ideal styles I like, such as Sheep Ann from Rift of the Necrodancer, which is just very magical girl. And same thing goes with the Stars and Stage Are Set from Skullgirls. And then the champion battle from Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, oddly enough, just kind of has that upbeat, magical tune that I like.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So look at this is a great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So then we've got the debate for this. I will admit the debate does currently suffer a bit from Winx being under-researched, but to my knowledge, it's very close currently, with both more or less going equal in every category except for versatility, where Tecna's massive amount of spells just outdoes Ami, but speed-wise, I think Sailor Mercury just gets a bit higher. I'm not quite sure the exact values, but I have mostly just found her taking the edge there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I noticed you got a tie essentially at the moment, so
yeah,
it's pretty close.
I'm not quite sure who to lean yet. I'm mostly just right now researching through it still to see if I can figure something out, though.
Gotcha. Shamelessly, who would you want to win?
If I was going based on just bias alone, Sailor Mercury is kind of my favorite character in any media.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So, relevancy. This is like the big thing. This is like something big I wanted to include as well. Sailor Moon, obviously always going to be really relevant. It's the magical girl show that people think of. And about 2 years ago, it had its most recent movie. As for Winx, it's actually been going since 2004, oddly enough. But
Oh, wow.
it's also still going strong with a new season, or rather a reboot of the first season coming, I believe, this year in June, if I'm correct.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. It is wild the show is still going. And then this was just a weird little thing I found.
Is this Soul Calibur? What is this?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
using
Yeah.
Soul Calibur character creation. I just found this on YouTube one day. And
That's fun.
I just saw it and I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've seen and I need to include it.
No, that's great.
So then, this is just kind of something I wanted to show, is just the immense amount of support the community has shown for this with various fan arts and a lot of thumbnails I've seen made of
Oh,
it.
wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's mostly what I have to say. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No, that's amazing. We have another call that we're gonna have to jump onto here in a second, but like I could definitely see the fight starting at like a chess match, like like a chess competition or something,
Okay,
and then it
that
leads.
would be really funny, actually.
Yeah, I do really like the idea of a magical fight, but girl fight, but there's the extra element of like they're the strategists, right? They're the smart ones, they're the really smart ones. If you want, you can send this PowerPoint presentation that you put together to the same email. We can also put it in the chat in just a minute. But the same email that you've been getting, responses to about setting this up. Yeah, that one right there.
All right.
For us to reference later, because clearly you put a lot of work into it, and we really appreciate that. Really fun idea, man. We do have to jump into the next call like right now, but yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, great presentation. It was awesome hearing about your matchup, and you did a really awesome job.
Yeah, you did a great job. Got it right on time as well. So.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Really
much
good
for your time, and I'm glad I've been getting to support Death Battle.
Again,
Yeah.
so are we. Thank you so much for your support.
I
both by
didn't
watching
say it
and
at the
Kickstarter.
top because I wanted to get to it, but yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being a big reason why we're able to keep doing what we're doing. So
Yep.
thank
right.
you.
Thank you.